What if Goku married Bulma? I know some of you may be thinking that this doesn't make any sense, but there were actually hints of this being possible in Dragon Ball. Like in chapter 166 of original Dragon Ball, after Bulma sees a grown-up Goku and says, "I can't believe it, son's become quite a man," and Oolong calls her a fickle wench, obviously implying Bulma finds him attractive. And we can even skip ahead all the way to chapter 93 of Dragon Ball Z, where Bulma says the following: "Little son Goku, who'd have thought he'd become the ultimate power? And me, always fighting with Yamcha, who's supposed to be my boyfriend, did I blow it?" So she's literally asking herself if she blew it by not dating Goku. So don't worry Bulma, because today we're going to correct your mistake by simply changing two minor parts of the story. Firstly, Goku doesn't promise to marry Chichi, meaning Chichi will move on and never show up to the World Martial Arts Tournament looking for Goku. She will instead find another man who probably won't worry her as much. And for the second change, Bulma and Yamcha separate some time before the martial arts tournament as they just don't click like they used to. And if they were being honest, they never truly loved each other. They cared for each other, but that just wasn't enough. And with those changes made, we can begin this what if. The story begins at the exact moment Bulma comments on how Goku has become quite a man. Oolong attempts to taunt her for the remark, but she can't even hear it as she is completely zoned out from her surroundings, only focused on Goku. She doesn't know why, but her heart is racing. It's been so long since she last saw Goku. He's so grown up. He's no longer that little kid she once knew, but instead a man who makes her feel more than Yamcha ever did after only a glance. We then go through the events of the tournament as per usual, with Chichi being replaced by a random martial artist who just gets easily taken care of by Goku, with Bulma watching on in amazement. Goku has become so strong. I mean, he was strong before, but now every move just seems so effortless. The tournament continues, as Bulma watches Goku continue to assert his superiority, even being able to take down the likes of Tien with ease, with her remembering how close their fight was in the last tournament. And then comes the final match, with Goku facing off against Piccolo Jr., and Bulma can't keep her eyes off the fight, being terrified for Goku's life, but she is helpless. All she can do is watch. The fight is intense. Goku gets greatly injured, but even with a hole through his chest, Goku keeps going. He's so determined, and as it seems like Piccolo actually kills Goku, Bulma screams his name at the top of her lungs, begging for him to still be alive, as her eyes then widen as she sees Goku rocketing down towards Piccolo and finishing him off with a final headbutt. He couldn't even move his arm, and he was barely alive, but he still managed to pull it off. Goku truly is amazing. Bulma has tears in her eyes, as Goku begins to laugh and cheer, as everyone then runs over to him, and Bulma takes a senzu bean from Yajirobe, feeding it to him, as he then jumps up like nothing ever happened, flying into the sky as he gleefully celebrates finally winning his first tournament. Bulma looks on and can't help but smile. That unparalleled glow of joy Goku has. She once saw it as fun and childish, but now it's just endearing. And we then get Bulma giving the same line as she does in the original. Goku used to be such a shrimp. Now he's like a mountain. She then runs over to Goku, hugging him and saying she is so glad he's alive. She knew he could do it. Kame would then offer for Goku to take his place as God, with Goku goofily declining and saying he's gonna head home now. He's starving. But Bulma says that Goku should come to Capsule Corp. She'll have the chefs cook him up a massive feast. Within an instant, Goku picks up Bulma and cheerfully laughs, saying "Alright," as he then jumps on the Nimbus while holding Bulma in his arms, saying bye everybody as they then fly off in the direction of Capsule Corp. Bulma being afraid she's going to fall, but Goku says don't worry, I've got ya. Master Roshi then begins to tear up, Krillin looking at him and asking if he is okay. Roshi simply chuckles, wiping away his tears, as he says Goku finally learned the last lesson of the Turtle School, how to pick up woman. As Krillin then bashes him on the back of the head and he falls over. everyone laughing as Goku and Bulma fly into the sunset. Now, Bulma and Goku don't just immediately start dating, let's be clear, but over a few months, Bulma will regularly visit Goku and have Goku come over to Capsule Corp, promising him amazing food every time, so Goku happily accepts. Bulma would then go on to essentially trick Goku into going on dates with her, until eventually, she tells Goku how she really feels. She knows Goku probably doesn't feel the same way, but she couldn't keep it in any longer. Goku just makes her feel a way she never felt before. So safe, so happy. Hell, she wouldn't even turn down marriage at this point, even though that would be very fast, she said as she awkwardly laughed. Goku then gets serious, which is a genuine surprise to Bulma, and he says that he doesn't know what marriage is, but he does know what he feels in his heart. He can't describe it, but he always felt a connection with Bulma, a bond, and now he knows why. So, let's get married. Bulma has a shocked facial expression. Is he serious? She was just joking about the marriage part. I mean, they haven't even dated. Goku's confused. So, she doesn't want to get married? He still doesn't know what that is, but why not? But Bulma can't answer that. She genuinely can't come up with a reason. And so, she smiles, saying, you know what, let's do it. And so, Bulma contacts all the Z Fighters, along with her family, and a week later, outside of Capsule Corp, Goku and Bulma officially get married, and both Bulma and Goku are happier than they have ever been. Goku now moves into Capsule Corp, meaning he can eat as much as he wants, whenever he wants. All he does is go to the chefs and tell them, no matter how outlandish, they always provide. But Goku is still very attached to his grandpa's home, so to compromise, Goku and Bulma actually stay at Goku's home in Mount Paozu on the weekends, while staying at Capsule Corp on the weekdays, giving Bulma a nice 2-day escape from work and the city each week, while Goku can feel comfortable and nostalgic. But don't get it twisted, Bulma definitely does give the home some upgrades with capsule tech, and they make sure to bring plenty of food over inside of capsules, so they can enjoy their time relaxing with each other, and they both get to be comfortable. Bulma and Goku even learn how to fish together. Goku used to be able to do it with his tail, but now he has to learn how to do it with a fishing rod, and he does struggle at first, along with Bulma, who has never really had to do that kind of thing, but they learn together, and genuinely have a great time. Gohan does still get born, Bulma allowing Goku to give him that name, as she finds it sweet. He wants to honour his grandpa, though he is born a few months later than in canon, so Gohan is slightly younger here, and still sports the same black hair as in canon. Bulma thought it was going to be purple or something, and this Gohan is both smarter and stronger than the canon one, due to Bulma helping Gohan study with all the resources of Capsule Corp, and having no issue with Goku training Gohan. So by the time we have the reunion at Kame House, Gohan already has a power level of 100, which doesn't seem like a lot, but is genuinely crazy compared to his canon power level at the time. Goku is also a little bit stronger here as well, due to this training, and Bulma helping make some stuff for his training. So Goku here has a power level of 500, meaning he's actually a decent bit stronger than Piccolo this time. Though, when Raditz shows up, this hardly matters, as Goku gets beaten by Raditz all the same, and Gohan gets kidnapped, meaning Goku and Piccolo still have to team up as they head off to face Raditz, and Bulma makes Goku promise to bring Gohan home safe. The fight with Raditz does play out similar, but there are clear differences, since when Goku uses the Kamehameha, his power level briefly spikes over 1,000, so Raditz has to be more careful of that. But that isn't the only change, as this time, when Gohan has his rage attack against Raditz, it's fatal. If we give Gohan the same power boost he got as in canon, it means that when Gohan attacks Raditz, his power level spikes from 100 all the way to over 130,000 for a brief moment, meaning he quite literally headbutts straight through Raditz, with his power level then dropping back down to 100 and giving Raditz the same kind of wound as the special beam cannon. Raditz lays on the ground at the brink of death, not knowing how this is possible. Planet Vegeta had 10 times the gravity of Earth, so it makes sense for Goku to be as weak as he is. But how did the brat pull that off? Could he be the legendary Super Saiyan? No matter. If Vegeta goes Great Ape, he'll still be able to kill that brat. He just wishes he killed more humans. Goku stands over Raditz, saying it wouldn't have mattered either way. They have the Dragon Balls, which can grant any wish, so they'd still be able to revive them all. Raditz then begins to laugh as he coughs out blood, saying his two Saiyan allies, who are much stronger than him, just overheard that through his scouter, and he assures them that in 1 year's time, they'll come to Earth and use the Dragon Balls to bring him back after they kill everyone here. Raditz then passes on to the other world, and Goku and Piccolo decide to continue their truce for the time being, as they both know the Saiyans are a bigger problem than each other, and they can't rely on Gohan to bail them out again, if he even can do that again. And just as he agreed to do this, Bulma, Krillin and Roshi show up. So Goku explains everything to them, and Bulma is hugging Gohan, making sure he is okay. Krillin asks how they are supposed to get strong enough to beat Saiyans, who are supposed to be way stronger than even Raditz. But Goku actually has an idea. Raditz mentioned the planet they come from supposedly has 10 times the gravity of Earth, which is apparently why Raditz was so strong. So if they could find a way to emulate that, they might be able to pull it off. Bulma says something like that should be a piece of cake. And so, after a short time passes, Bulma begins work on creating the gravity chamber. And once it is complete, Goku, Gohan and Piccolo all train there, while the human Z fighters decide to train under Kami. And we saw how strong Goku got after only a few days of gravity training. Now imagine how strong he will get after 11 months straight, since the Saiyans arrive 1 month early like in canon. Well, let me tell you the power levels so you can truly understand. In canon, Goku grows 11.25 times over 6 days of gravity training. So, if we turn those 6 days into 11 months, we need to multiply that increase by 56 times, meaning Goku's power here could grow over 631 times. But that would only be if he was training by himself. Since he has 2 good training partners, we're going to actually increase that to 650 times, meaning Goku, after 11 months, will go from a power level of 500 to a power level of 325,000. Since Piccolo doesn't get Zenkais from the training, we're going to give Piccolo a bit of a weaker boost. So let's say he would get the original 631 times increase. So, after the 11 months, Piccolo will achieve a power level of 257,448. And since Gohan has training partners stronger than himself to begin with, along with having his hybrid potential, we're going to say Gohan gets an increase of 700 times, meaning Gohan reaches a power level of 70,000. But just keep in mind, that power can drastically increase in the blink of an eye with rage boosts. With that said, Nappa and Vegeta arrive on the Earth, looking for 2 things, the Dragon Balls and Gohan. They don't care about reviving Raditz, but they want to become immortal, and after seeing the crazy power Gohan is able to achieve, they want to recruit him to their cause, or kill him if he refuses, as he will be too dangerous to leave alive and become a stronger enemy. Vegeta and Nappa would both use their scouters, spotting 3 power levels, all of which being 10,000. So they head in the direction of them and arrive in a wasteland, coming across Goku, Piccolo and Gohan, along with the human Z fighters standing behind them. Vegeta is impressed at Kakarot's growth. He only had a power level of 500 before, but now he even surpasses Nappa. And so, he offers for both Goku and Gohan to join them, saying he doesn't want a Namekian to ruin their pure Saiyan squad. However, they both obviously refuse, and so Nappa throws out the Cybermen so they can see how the 3 warriors fight, and study their movements. But instead, the human Z fighters step up, saying they will handle it. This would result in Yamcha dying like usual, since nobody expected the Cybermen to explode. But after this, Goku quickly blitzes the rest of the Cybermen, killing them with 1 blow, as he then says he will end this fight before anyone else gets hurt. Goku begins to power up, with Vegeta and Nappa both being shocked and terrified. 50,000, then 100,000, then 200,000, but their scouters then both explode before it can register anymore, as the number is going up far too quickly for them to handle. Vegeta quickly shouts for Nappa to create a false moon. They have no other choice, so Nappa does, decreasing his power slightly, but the boost from Great Ape more than makes up for it, as the two then begin to tower over everyone. But they aren't the only ones to transform. Since Gohan was training inside, he never looked at the full moon, and so he never transformed into a Great Ape until now, as he is the third Oozaru on the field, and he has zero control. Gohan begins to go on a rampage, attacking everyone on the battlefield, not just Vegeta and Nappa. Goku and Piccolo narrowly evade blows, only being able to barely dodge due to how sluggish the attacks are, but nobody else is able. Nappa is easily killed, and Vegeta is on the brink of death. All the humans were stomped out like ants, meaning Goku and Piccolo are the only ones left, but they don't know what to do. Gohan currently has a power level of 700,000, so even Goku doesn't have half the power of Gohan here. And without Kaioken, he has no way to close the gap. Piccolo will get an idea though, telling Goku to keep his son busy, with Goku trying his best, firing a full power Kamehameha at Gohan, which momentarily staggers him, and Piccolo then begins looking around, until he spots the fake moon. If that thing is what transformed the Saiyans, maybe destroying it will revert them, so without hesitation, Piccolo fires a full power Masenko at the fake moon, immediately destroying it, and thankfully, the plan works, with Gohan slowly reverting to his base, along with the barely alive Vegeta, who is clutching to the world of the living. Goku would then quickly run to Gohan, making sure he is okay, as Piccolo walks over to Vegeta and prepares to kill him. Goku would tell Piccolo to stop though. Vegeta didn't actually kill anyone, it was Gohan, and the bald one who threw out the Cybermen. Piccolo doesn't care though, so he powers up a blast to finish Vegeta off, but Goku then quickly appears next to Piccolo, grabbing his arm. He said to let him go. Piccolo then moves his arm, saying fine, as Vegeta crawls into his space pod, flying off into space, and Goku wonders what they should do. They can revive some of them with the Dragon Balls, but others have already been revived once before, meaning they can't be revived again. Kami then talks to both Goku and Piccolo telepathically, telling them to come to the lookout, as he has a way to help them. But Goku first takes Gohan back to Capsule Corp, laying him in bed so he can rest, and he tells Bulma everything that happened. Bulma is horrified, but Goku comforts her, telling her everything is going to be fine. Kami said he had a way to bring everyone back, and once they do that, he will either train Gohan to use that form without going berserk, or Kami should be able to remove his tail like he did to his as a kid. Bulma is still worried, but she trusts Goku, so they embrace, before Goku then heads up to Kami's lookout, touching down as he sees Kami and Piccolo at opposite ends, looking in different directions. Even though Kami did request Piccolo to come along, that doesn't mean he trusts him. But once Goku arrives, the tension clears, and Kami then shows the pair his old spaceship, telling them about his past, and revealing that both him and Piccolo are actually Namekians. Piccolo doesn't seem surprised, as he remembers Vegeta called him that, but Goku asks how all of this can actually help them. Kami theorizes that if he has the ability to create the Dragon Balls, maybe other Namekians can as well. So if they head to Namek, they could use their Dragon Balls to revive those who can't be with the Earth Dragon Balls. But before they can do that, they will need to repair his ship. Goku is happy, saying that's great. He'll ask Bulma to take a look. She can definitely do that. And so, Goku retrieves Bulma from Capsule Corp, bringing her back to the lookout as she examines Kami's ship, and so she could definitely repair it, but it might be better to just convert the gravity chamber into a ship, and they can use that instead. That way, they can train on the way. Goku loves that idea, and Kami supposes that is fine. So, Bulma downloads all the data from Kami's ship, including the coordinates for Namek, and she begins modifying the gravity chamber, while Goku says he's going to collect the Dragon Balls to revive those he can. but Kami actually tells Goku to not do that for now. Goku asks why, and Kami tells Goku that his friends are actually commencing new training in the other world, under a god even higher in rank than himself, King Kai. So he thinks it is better if they let them train there until they can gather the Namekian Dragon Balls and just revive them all at once, so they can have a bit of time to train there. Goku is a bit jealous, thinking they are all going to learn some awesome techniques, but he guesses he doesn't really want to die in order to do that, and Bulma really wouldn't be happy if he did either, so he leaves it be for now, instead heading home and waiting until Bulma finishes working on the gravity ship. Once it is complete, Piccolo comes over to Capsule Corp and sees Bulma sporting a spacesuit, with Goku and Gohan with her, just waiting. Bulma would really want Gohan to be resting up for now, but she also doesn't want to leave him here by himself, so she really has no choice but to bring him along. She knows Goku will protect him no matter what, and so their journey to Namek commences, with it taking 6 days to arrive. But the time they arrive will be the same time Bulma, Krillin and Gohan would in canon, due to the time it takes to modify the gravity chamber. And you know what's going to happen. Goku, Gohan and Piccolo all get a power boost. As I said earlier, in canon, Goku would gain 11.25 times stronger over this time. But since he has good training partners, we're going to have him increase by 15 times, which will now give him a crazy power level of 4.875 million, making his base stronger than when he fought Frieza in canon. We are going to say Piccolo gets 12.5 times stronger, meaning he gets a power level of over 3.2 million, also making his power level stronger than base Goku against Frieza. And finally, Gohan will increase by 17.5 times, giving him a power level of over 1.2 million. And keep in mind, he still has his tail, so if he goes Great Ape, he can multiply that power by 10 times, and even without that, it can still increase via rage boosts. And so, they arrive on Namek, with Bulma setting up camp in a cave, popping up a capsule home, while Goku, Gohan and Piccolo go off in order to gather the Dragon Balls. They come across the village where Dende lives, and Frieza is currently tormenting. And even though Gohan wants to attack, Goku tells him to wait. Goku asks Piccolo if he can sense that too, Piccolo saying, "It's hard not to. That guy in the middle is holding back a tremendous amount of power. They should try to avoid fighting that guy for the time being." Goku would agree, saying they should try revive the others and then challenge him. But that doesn't mean he's going to let Dende die here. So Goku quickly blitzes in, then using a solar flare as he quickly breaks all of the scouters and grabs Dende, flying away. Frieza is confused. Did he just see a Saiyan? Frieza then orders Dodoria to chase after them, with him attempting to do so, but he is simply far too slow to keep up. So he ends up losing them, but instead encountering Vegeta, with their fight playing out as per usual. The trio of Goku, Gohan and Piccolo would easily gather Dragon Balls, while saving villages from Frieza Force soldiers, then bringing the Dragon Balls back to Bulma to keep them hidden. Vegeta would continue to do the same things as he does in canon, eventually fighting Zarbon, being captured, then escaping and killing Zarbon. But this time, the Frieza Force just doesn't have any Dragon Balls for Vegeta to steal, as the Z Fighters have at this point gathered every Dragon Ball but one. Frieza is getting enraged to no end, and finally decides to call in the Ginyu Force, to not only get new Scouters, but so they can get him these Dragon Balls that somehow keep evading his grasp. At this time, Goku, Gohan and Piccolo would be heading to the final Dragon Ball alongside Dende, as they encounter Vegeta, wondering what he is doing here, and asking if he is with Frieza. Vegeta refuses, being disgusted at that notion, as they all then sense the Ginyu Force. incoming from space, and Vegeta is terrified, but there is really nothing to worry about. Any of the trio could easily wipe out the Ginyu Force, so they just tell Vegeta to not cause any trouble as they then continue flying to the final Dragon Ball. But Vegeta decides to follow after them, knowing he can't take on the Ginyu Force alone, so even though he doesn't like it, he needs to team up with them. The trio are confused to Vegeta's sudden shift, but they don't really care. Vegeta can stay with them for now, but if he tries anything, it won't be difficult to take him down. So, they all arrive outside of the Grand Elder Guru's home, with everyone being allowed inside, besides Vegeta. Vegeta is annoyed, but he knows now isn't the time, so he angrily waits outside, as the group then talk to the Grand Elder, explaining why they are gathering the Dragon Balls, and asking for the final one from him. The Grand Elder would read their minds, agreeing to give it to them, but asking that they please protect his planet and his people in return. Goku says they were planning on doing that anyway, which the Grand Elder confirms after reading Goku's mind again, and saying very well, in that case, he has a gift for them all. The Grand Elder beckons for Goku to come towards him, with Goku doing so, and as the Grand Elder Guru places his hand on Goku's head, everyone is shocked as his power skyrockets. In canon, Gohan will get an initial power boost of around 10 times, so you may want to make the initial boost a little lower for Goku, but Krillin actually gets practically the same boost, so we're going to be giving Goku the same initial 10 times boost, meaning he now has an unreal base power level of 48.75 million. Bear in mind, this power will only continue to increase as the potential unlock from Guru grows over time. Piccolo and Gohan will both get their potentials unlocked as well, giving them both initial 10 times boosts, meaning Piccolo gets to a power level of 32 million, and Gohan gets to a power level of 12 million. These power levels are all insane, and will all grow massively. From outside, Vegeta senses all of their powers, as they couldn't suppress them while their potential was being unlocked, and he is dumbfounded. Are Kakarot and his brat truly Super Saiyans? Raditz might have been right, and even the Namekian is crazy powerful. What is he meant to be? A Super Namekian? Finally, Dende would get his potential unlocked, giving him the ability to heal others, and they all then thank the Grand Elder, as they then take the final Dragon Ball and head outside, seeing Vegeta with his shocked facial expression, and they ask if something is wrong. Vegeta tries to act natural, saying it's nothing at all, as they then all head back to Bulma, but once they arrive, the Ginyu Force touches down moments later. Thankfully, the Ginyu Force only entered the atmosphere of Namek after Goku, Piccolo and Gohan already resuppressed their base power levels, so currently, they all seem to only be around 50,000 each, which is still impressive, but most of the Ginyu Force should be able to take them down. Though, unfortunately for the Ginyu Force, they really don't get the chance to do anything at all, as the monster trio then immediately blitz towards them. Gohan taking out Goldo and Raccoon, Piccolo taking out Jason Berta, and Goku taking out Ginyu, without him ever getting the chance to steal his body. With this now done, Bulma runs out, greeting everyone and hugging Goku, saying he looks so strong. What happened? Goku would slightly laugh, while scratching the back of his head, saying he'll explain later. But now they have all 7 Dragon Balls, it's time they summon Shenron. Well, at least what they think is Shenron. Goku would attempt to summon the Eternal Dragon. However, it wouldn't work, and Dende tells them that they need to speak in Namekian. So, Dende would summon the dragon, and everyone would be shocked, as that is definitely not Shenron. Maybe Shenron on steroids, but definitely not the one they know. Porunga then tells them to state their wishes, Dende translating, and Goku asks to revive everyone killed on the day of the Saiyan attack on Earth, Vegeta looking away as he hears this. If only they didn't need to speak Namekian. He'd wish to be immortal on the spot, but he definitely can't force Dende to do that with everyone around. Dende would translate the wish, but Porunga would then state that they can only revive one person at a time, with Dende translating this again, and everyone would be surprised. Well, it seems they will revive the rest using the Earth Dragon Balls after all, but for now, they tell Dende to wish to revive Krillin and Chaozu, and as they are about to make a third wish, Porunga disappears, and the Dragon Balls turn to stone. Frieza had just killed the Grand Elder, and immediately began heading to the group. Everyone begins to panic. What is going on? But then suddenly, multiple death beams were shot out, one going straight through Vegeta's chest, another being shot at Goku, which Goku smacks away, but the final one goes straight through Bulma. Frieza then slowly begins hovering down, as Goku and Gohan both look back at Bulma, with their eyes widened as she begins falling to the ground. Goku then quickly blitzes towards her, catching her before she falls, and tears begin to well up in his eyes as he tells Bulma to stay with him. Don't die, please! Frieza begins to laugh, saying he chose randomly, but it seems that woman was important to the monkey. What a pity. He should have made her death slower and more painful. Both Goku and Gohan look to Frieza with pure rage. Both of their potential unlocks have now hit their peak, meaning Goku now has a base power level of 650 million. That's how much the peak potential unlock made him, while Gohan has a base power level of 160 million. And now you can multiply both of these power levels by 50 times, as both Goku and Gohan transform into Super Saiyans. And you can even increase those powers higher, as they both have added rage boost on top, with Gohan's making him exponentially stronger, to the point where he is actually equal to Super Saiyan Goku right now. Which, to tell you just how crazy this is, they are both at a minimum power level of 32.5 billion. Bear in mind, Super Saiyan Goku in canon was a bit weaker than base Gohan here, and much weaker than base Goku here. Frieza is terrified, not sensing their power level, but he can feel the air getting thicker as their monstrous auras emanate. He immediately goes full power, but what is that supposed to do? Him at full power is only 120 million. Even if they were both in base, they would decimate him individually. But what is he meant to do against two people with individual power levels of 32.5 billion? Frieza immediately throws an attack to destroy the planet, beginning a 2-minute timer, as Goku and Gohan collect themselves, and both perception blitz Frieza, literally killing him in the first punch. But they both continue to batter his body anyway, letting out their frustration, seemingly losing their minds. But then, they both hear a familiar voice, shouting for them to stop. She's okay. Goku and Gohan both immediately stop their onslaught, looking down and seeing Bulma standing there, perfectly fine. Dende was able to heal her just before she would die. Goku and Gohan would both de-transform, rushing to Bulma and hugging her with tears in their eyes, saying they thought they lost her. Bulma said it's okay, she's okay, but Piccolo interrupts them, saying they can have their heartfelt moment later. Right now, they need to get off the planet before it's destroyed. They all agree, as they quickly run to the gravity chamber, other than Dende, who says he needs to stay. Something is about to happen. They are all confused, but they trust Dende, so they tell him to make sure he stays alive, as they blast off from the planet, and King Kai telepathically links Kami to Dende, telling Dende to get ready to use the Namekian Dragon Balls to get everyone else to Earth, as Kami is about to use his Dragon Balls to revive them. Dende says okay, as Kami wishes to revive everyone killed by Frieza's forces on Namek, meaning Vegeta suddenly wakes up beside Dende, asking what happened, but before he can process, Porunga reappears as the Grand Elder was revived, and Dende quickly wishes for everyone who is not a Frieza Force soldier to be teleported to Earth, and suddenly, everyone still on Namek appears on Earth as moments later, the planet explodes, and the gravity ship is knocked off course by the explosion, being catapulted in the wrong direction. Now everyone is on Earth. Vegeta looks around, realizing that Piccolo, Goku, and Gohan aren't there. So he decides he will now take control of the Earth for himself, and use their Dragon Ball, but keep in mind, this Vegeta is only as strong as when he defeats Zarbon. So Nail, who is now here as well, quickly puts him in his place, saying that isn't going to happen after these people saved them. Vegeta is frustrated, but with nothing he can do, he quiets down, and we cut back to the gravity ship, which crash lands on planet Yardrat. Once they land, they exit the ship, all being dazed by the crash, but thankfully unharmed. So they look around, and are greeted by the Yardrats, who take them to meet Paibara, who is their leader. And after reading all their minds, Paibara says they are welcome to stay on their planet until their ship is repaired, and he will even train them if they would like. They have many abilities which may be useful to them. They don't really have much of a choice, so they agree, and around an hour later, King Kai links them with Kami telepathically, introducing himself to them all for the first time. And Kami says that they used the Dragon Balls already to revive all the Namekians, but in a few months, the Namekians ensure they will use their Dragon Balls to bring them all back to Earth, which works for all of them. So while Goku and Piccolo begin training to learn multiple Yardrat techniques, Bulma is allowed to research all of their technology, and as Paibara sensed an untamed anger inside of Gohan, he decides that should be his top priority, before learning any new techniques. And so, Paibara decides to train Gohan to control his power and anger, starting with his base form, and then moving on to Great Ape, as he also has the ability to create a fake moon, and thankfully, with Goku around, who can go Super Saiyan, they are able to keep Gohan from hurting anyone until he controls his power, which he eventually does by the time the Namekian Dragon Balls recharge. But when Kami tries to wish to bring them all back to Earth from Yardrat, they actually decline. Porunga then tells Kami that those he speaks of on Yardrat do not wish to come back for the time being, as they are currently undergoing training they don't want to end just yet, and the human with them is researching a lot of technology she wasn't privy to previously, so she also wishes to stay with them. Kami guesses that is fine, so they instead use the remaining wishes to revive Yamcha and Tien, along with creating a new planet Namek in a hidden location, so when the Earth Dragon Balls get restored, they will use them to wish to teleport all the Namekians there. And with that, Porunga disappears, and we actually skip quite some time into the future, with Goku, Piccolo, Gohan, and Bulma all staying a year longer on Yardrat than Goku did in canon, as there would be no attack on Earth, since King Cold wouldn't know it was the cause of Frieza's death, and would be too busy retaking control over his empire to do so for the time being. Plus, Goku and Piccolo wanted to stay longer to learn the rest of the techniques, while Gohan wanted to fully control his power so he wouldn't rampage again. Bulma was still happy doing her research, coming up with multiple new inventions to bring back to Earth. So she was fine with this too, especially since she was with Goku and Gohan as well. And so, eventually the group decide to leave Yardrat after both Goku and Piccolo learn spirit control, instant transmission, cloning, size manipulation, which Piccolo technically already knew, healing, and potentially the most broken technique, forced spirit fission. Gohan also learnt spirit control, as it was fundamental in his training for controlling his anger, and it helped both him and Goku use Super Saiyan more effectively. But he didn't have time to pick up on all the other techniques. Bulma is happy with all her research and packs all her new inventions onto the gravity ship, making it a bit cramped, but they'll manage. And so they thank all the Yardrats for their hospitality before heading back to Earth, where they land and meet future Trunks. The group are confused, as they have never met this person before, yet he somehow knew where they would land. Originally, Trunks was planning to keep his identity a secret, but the moment he sees Gohan and Goku, he can't help but run to his father and hug him, everyone being confused, but Goku doesn't push him off, sensing he really needed it, so he hugs him back, and Trunks begins to cry. It's really him. After all this time, he finally gets to see his dad in person. Trunks then gets a flashback, It was just after another defeat to the androids, and he is laying in bed, injured. Trunks asks his mother if she is sure his dad could really make a difference if they go back in time and save him, and future Bulma smiles, saying, "He can make a difference alright, but it's not just because of how strong he is, Trunks. Goku has this incredible feeling about him. When you're with him, you just know everything is going to be fine, and it always is." Trunks' mind returns to the present moment. His mother was right. He really does have this incredible feeling about him. Trunks then stops the embrace, stepping back as he composes himself, and apologizes for that. He then introduces himself as Trunks, and he is the son of Bulma and Goku in the future. Everyone gasps. The future? And they have a second child? Trunks says that's right, and he begins to explain the events of his timeline. In a few years, Goku dies to the heart virus, and sometime after that, 2 androids emerge, wreaking havoc on the Earth as they kill all of their friends in battle, the only one surviving being Gohan, who only escaped due to Piccolo teleporting him away from the fight when he was badly injured, and then returning to help the others, but suffering the same fate as they did. After that, Gohan would try to train and get strong enough to beat the androids, but due to not having any experience training on his own, his growth wasn't significant enough to make a difference. He was stronger than an android individually, but they would always gang up on him, and in the end, he would always need to escape. Then, once Trunks became old enough, Gohan began to train him as well, passing down everything he learned from Piccolo and his father, telling Trunks stories about Goku, winning incredible battles against all odds, and Bulma told him all about it as well. He's really happy he finally gets to see him. This is a lot for everyone to take in, but Gohan then asks why his future self didn't come back to the past with him, but Trunks then has a somber look. One day, himself and Gohan were training. Gohan always told him how Goku felt there might be a way to surpass the Super Saiyan wall, but he got too ill before ever getting the chance to find out. Ever since the death of Goku, Gohan always pondered the idea, but he genuinely couldn't think of a possible way to do so. However, on that day, it suddenly clicked. Gohan said he finally figured it out. After all this time, he knew how to do it, but before he could tell him, they both heard an explosion in the city nearby, and it completely shifted their attention. Trunks wanted to help Gohan, however, he still wasn't strong enough. He would have only been a burden, and probably would have gotten himself killed. Gohan knew that, so he knocked him out, and went to fight them alone. But this time, the androids were finally able to put him down for good. He found his body in the ruins of the city, drenched in rain, and it was that which allowed him to unlock Super Saiyan as well. To think, if the androids never attacked at that exact moment, he could have found out how to go beyond Super Saiyan, and they would have got the power they needed. But fate had other plans. Everyone is silent, feeling a joint sense of remorse, and Trunks then outstretches his hand, holding a capsule of medicine. If Goku takes this, it should cure him from the heart virus. Both his mother and his brother believed that if Goku was there, things would have ended differently, so he hopes that is the case. Goku outstretches his hand as well, grabbing the medicine, but also pulling Trunks back into a hug. Trunks is shocked, but Goku says he is very proud of him. He is sorry he wasn't there for them, but he promises, thanks to Trunks' help, he will be. But first, he wants to see how strong his son has become. So, let's spar. Trunks will cheerfully agree, with Goku handing the medicine over to Bulma, who smiles and says to have fun, but don't go too hard, okay? Goku smiles, saying he won't, as Goku and Trunks fly a short distance away, and Goku tells Trunks to go Super Saiyan, with him doing so, and Goku says that he is impressed. Trunks has clearly been working hard, and Goku then transformed into Super Saiyan himself, and Trunks is amazed. Goku is already this strong? He isn't quite at the level Gohan was, but to already be at this point is incredible. Goku is happy to hear that. Gohan really did surpass him. He always knew he had it in him, but to protect his family, he will have to surpass even that. Goku then tells Trunks to bring it on, with Trunks smiling as he unsheathes his blade and rushes towards Goku, attempting to slash at him, but Goku is able to dodge every attack, and Trunks watches how fluid and precise all of Goku's movements are. It's to the point where even if he was as strong as Goku here, he feels like he'd still be able to dodge his attacks in the exact same way, just due to his skill. Goku would then stop Trunks' sword with his finger, ending their brief match there as Goku is satisfied, and he promises his son that he won't waste the chance Trunks gave them. Trunks nods, as he says he will return to the past on the day the androids arrive, in order to help them just in case, and he gives Goku the coordinates of where they should emerge, along with the day and time, before then heading back to the future, waving at everyone goodbye, as his time machine vanishes, and everyone now knows what they have to do. And this is where we're going to end off today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. I really enjoyed making it, and let me know if you guys want me to continue this series. I was going to have this video just be the entire story, but that would have taken way too long. And if you guys didn't like it, then it would have just been a lot of time and money for nothing. So please let me know in the comments down below if you want to see this story continue. And if you did end up enjoying today's video, you can hit that like button and also subscribe. You can always unsubscribe later, and supporting this video as much as possible will show me you want to see more. If you're watching this video on mobile, make sure to use the new hype feature to boost the video in the algorithm. And if you want to support me more, you can always become a channel member. But with that being said, I've been Sacred Saiyan, and I hope to see you all in the next video. Goodbye guys.